So, without any delay, let's begin this enlightening journey with Mariam and explore the path to nurturing our children's moral compass. Before we get into the session, I want to thank you all for being here today. Your presence shows your commitment to being great parents and creating a loving environment for your children to grow and thrive. Once again, thank you all for joining us this evening today. Welcoming you all to our session.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Shilpa, for that introduction. And welcome everyone to today's program. It means a lot for taking time out of your schedule and being present here. And we have a very good attendance also. And as soon as we launched this, as soon as we announced this program, the response was overwhelming. And that really shows the relevance of this topic at the present times. So I would like to know, what is your expectation from this webinar? Can you please go ahead and type in the chat box or take your mic and speak? What made you come here?
Hi, myself Yashika. So, according to me, parenting is the most toughest skill that something that has to be developed at the current time. And I think any kind of knowledge that would be really valuable and helpful for today's generation parents.
That's nice. Yeah, Yashika. Yes, Zahra, are you sharing something? Yeah. Okay. And here Hamita says, other than forcing kids to do something, I want my kids, Hanan says, I want my kids to have moral values, especially in this liberal, tough world. Shahita says, how to calculate moral values in our
Hello,
children.
Mariam.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah. For me, I was looking like to draw a balance. Like I don't want to be when I parent, I don't want to be too strict about the moral aspects. At the same time, I don't want to lose out them. So I want to know where I should draw a line. That's what made me come here.
That is also a very genuine concern, especially in our times. We were not exposed to so much of information that our children are exposed to at this time in their age. So that doubts also hold relevance. And Hamida says, is there any mantra for kids to love what they do? It's always nice to know more about how to instill values. Struggling with the right balance with my teen. Okay, F said, if it's good if you can change your name and just let me know whether my audio is all fine and you are able to hear me. I have slight throat issues. I guess that won't cause any hindrance to the program. Okay, Shifa says, I don't want to be an enemy to my child. Okay, thank you. It's audible. Okay. Thank you, everyone who responded. And it is nice to see the response also, because since it's the online meet, you'll be able to see me, but I won't be able to see anyone. So your presence in chat and through the mic shows really gives me that vigor to take this forward. So in today's session, we'll be going to discuss, first will be another discussion that is coming up. That is, should we really train them to stick on to their values in the present time? And then we'll go ahead and explore the moral developmental stages of our children. And then we'll be discussing when to correct our children and how to correct. And also we'll discuss certain leaking buckets, that is the certain mistakes that come from our side, which will make the whole process useless. I would recommend you to switch off the mic. Shahama Fahim. Okay. So let's start with this discussion. In a world where a majority of the people are cheating and lying, should we train our kids to be different from them or be smarter at these? Just let me know in the chat box whether we have to train them different or the same and smarter. Different or same? Same means same like others who cheat and lie and get things done. Okay, everyone says different. Sharon says to survive, to be different, but meanwhile they should be able to identify being cheated. Morality can be lost to uphold religious values. Different. Basma says both. Yes, whenever we say different, we want our children to be different from these, but whenever we have that in mind, we get that double mind, right? Will they be able to survive here? So, what is your take on that? If we train our children to be different, will they be able to survive in this world? Train them to identify what is morality, right and wrong, and stand against them. That is nice, especially in our absence. Yes. Binyamin also says different. Fabin says different from them and make others also understand that. Okay, it's difficult, but they'll be able to, but at least they can be real. Okay, that is nice, Yashika. Okay, so instead of equipping our children to be smarter at lying, cheating, to fit to this world that we are in, let us focus on creating a change by, creating a different world through the children. And dealing with and tolerating people who cheat and lies, that as humans, actually, we learn it on the go. How to avoid it, at what point to avoid, whether we need to avoid, and what you need to be careful of while dealing with such people when we are in their presence. That is actually a part of our adaptability. That is a self learning process that we all develop. For example, men who are here, you'll be able to, those who have this adaptability, you'll see that you learn to tolerate and deal with the emotions of your wife. When you start living together, you understand that maybe she's quite different from me. I'll have to deal with a lot of emotions, and you adapt to it. And for women, maybe when you enter a different family and you see different people on a day-to-day basis, they become a part of your life, and you will have to deal with them who might have different opinions about your life. So there also the adaptability factor comes in, how we deal with them, where we draw the boundary, how we survive. And there is no doubt that our children need to stick on to their values and morality in whichever world they are living. Okay. Now, coming to our expectation. Some parents expect zero mistakes from their children, even though we know that we make mistakes. We make a lot of mistakes. Even now at this age, also, we make mistakes. And even then, we cannot tolerate the mistakes of our children. And that is an ideal case, right? No mistakes, zero mistakes. It's an ideal case. Can you please mute? Um, Shruti, will you be able to handle that? Okay.
Yeah, Mari.
Okay, I think Shruti muted me also. Okay. So there is an ideal case there, zero mistake case, where kids make no mistakes, and we cannot expect this from anyone. What we can expect the most from our children is they admit their mistakes. They need to come up and say, yes, I'm the one who did it, and I'm sorry for that. Do you agree?
Yes, yes.
Okay. And that is a somewhat realistic expectation that we have from our children. And to be honest, that is the most advanced stage of moral development, to come up and say that I'm the one who committed this mistake, and to receive whatever punishment that is there in front. So that is the highest stage of moral development. So let's explore the other stages also, so that we can guide the children to the higher stage of moral development. Okay, so this is the first stage. Stage one is the egocentric stage, or egocentric reasoning stage, where the child is very self-centric. He or she wants everything to happen in his or her own way. And the second stage is where the child starts thinking, will I get punishment if I do this? That is the stage when you try to avoid punishments. When your child is in this stage of moral development, when you say, if you do this, I'll give you really nice, then the child will obey suddenly, because the child is in this stage, that is a stage of avoiding punishments. Third stage is, what's my benefit? That's that's a thought that occurs inside. I'll give my toy only if you give me yours. I'll sit for studies if mama offers me screen time. My benefit is the screen time there. And the fourth stage is the good girl or good boy orientation. If I do this, Papa will be happy. And this is what good boys do, according to Papa. They see good behaviors as that which make others happy or what others approve. When they sit home in a nice way, they keep everything in their place and we appreciate them, they try to do that also, that the next day also. So that is because they value this good girl or good boy tag. Coming to the fifth stage, it is a law and order orientation. It is this stage that they feel right behavior is my duty. I need to respect the authority. I need to follow the rules of the system that I am a part of. To mention an example, if we are a part of a flat community, a person at this stage will feel that I have to obey the rules of the association even when no one is watching. I shouldn't be littering garbage here and there. I need to keep the place neat. So that is this stage of moral development. And the sixth stage is principled conscience, where people at this stage gives ultimate respect to other people's rights. And this is the stage when one comes and says that, punish me, I'm the one who did the mistake. So these are the stages of moral development. We may be anywhere, maybe a mixture of here and there. But nowhere in this, there is a stage when people make zero mistakes. Okay, so check where your child is standing, at which level your child is, and uplift them to the higher stages. That is, when you threaten them with punishments again and again, you see that it's working, the child is obeying, but you are keeping your child still in stage 2. When you keep applying the tricks, you do the homework, and you can use the screens later, then your child will still be in stage 3. You won't be able to guide them to the higher stages. So always show them what principle centric is, why we need moral principles, the internal happiness that it gives, the happiness, and also that whatever good deeds we do, that is never going to get wasted. These are the things that we need to pass to bring them to the higher stages. And in order to bring them to the higher stages, it is very important that they think and choose the right things. They need to think and choose and differentiate right from wrong. If they have to do that in our absence, then we need to train them to do it in our presence so that they get equipped to handle it on their own. But actually, what we do is just the opposite. When they make a mistake, we are too hard on them. We don't even give them a second chance. We just force and demands the right thing from them. What happens when we force and demand? What happens when we force and demand without giving them a second chance? Yes.
They'll start lying later on.
They start lying. Yes. And also in the chat, Sindhu says they turn rebel. Children start lying, hiding. They will hate. The name says they hide. Yes. There are a whole lot of things that happen when we force right and wrong upon them. Let's explore a few of that. Not just children, but we all naturally desire a state of autonomy or freedom and independence. When things are forced upon them, it can feel like their control or their choices are completely taken away, and that will lead to a lot of resistance. Even toddlers and preschoolers, if you look, they are starting to develop their own sense of, what they want, what they don't want, and all. And secondly, when we force, we cut their opportunity to learn. They don't have the same life experience as us adults, and so they may choose wrong things at several places. We adults, we have got several years to learn from and set our moral compass. And many facts that our parents used to say when we were children, we realized it much later. So, as parents, what we can do is to give them a space to make mistakes and convince them internally about the right and wrong rather than creating grudge by forcing. The third thing is kids are still learning how to regulate their emotions. When they're feeling angry, scared, or frustrated, I'm sorry. So when they are angry, scared, or frustrated, they may be more likely to act impulsively or make poor choices at that time. So forcing them to do something when they are feeling these emotions, that will make it even harder for them to control themselves and regulate their emotion. So it worsens the situation. Another thing is they turn submissive. The fourth point is that submissive is not, they are not becoming submissive just to us, to anyone in future without developing their own stand, and that can cause a negative self-image also. They start thinking negative about themselves. And when we force, they are not internally convinced of doing what we want, and thus they may act well in our presence, but then, as you said, they'll start hiding, cheating, lying, and all, and they become very secretive. Also, we turn out to be their enemies. Your bonding is affected, they stop valuing us, and that is not at all a healthy sign in our relationship. Okay, so what we need to discuss is when we need to correct our children and how we need to correct. In that, we are going ahead with the when. A person who met with an accident. What the person needs is not just a medical support, but the person needs it at the right time and in the right manner. Bring this example to your mind whenever you are about to correct your child. Instilling good values in them, setting their moral compass, as in what is right and what is wrong, to choose from that. Without failure, we parents do it a majority of the times. But not just what we do matters here. How we do it and also when we do it also matters. Agree? And we are here to learn both of these, how and when, in parenting. The early is not always the better. Definitely, we have to be equipped as early as possible to handle the parental struggles that are on the way and to deal with a specific issue when that is up. But in some situations, we need to delay our corrections. Any such situation that is in your mind where we need to delay our correction? Any situation when you feel like,
when we
When
are
there is a
not in a good
presence of a
mood,
third party,
we
like,
should.
when they do some mistakes in front of others, so give them some time and we have to correct, like, so that it will not affect their confidence or they will not feel bad in front of others. If
yes, both are relevant points. When others are around and also when we are not in a good mood. Try not to compare them, says Yashika. When others are in front, says Febin. Okay, that is mentioned by several people. Okay. So this is a real example. When a guest was there, I have 4 children, so I do get a lot of opportunity on a day-to-day basis to discuss this. To set their moral compass, to have discussions over that. So this is one incident that happened recently. So when a guest was there and we were all having our food at that time when it was being served, the guest took his portion and one of my kids were commenting like, okay, are you going to eat this much rice? Okay. You can imagine how much insulted we felt. Not just me or my husband, but the guest also, obviously. Uh, that person also got insulted, right? So we can make a comment there and correct him. And that may satisfy our internal trigger to do it, and also to patch up the insult that we felt at that time. But what happens to him when we correct at that time? When we correct harshly at that time? I want to hear you.
They will become more introverted. They won't talk in front of others later on. They will think, if I will comment so and so in this way, maybe it will affect me, or my parents will scold me. I will be insulted in front of others.
That's nice point. What is your name, please? Okay. So whenever you are speaking, I would like to hear your name also.
He will think twice before his name here. He will think twice before he will speak his mind again
Okay.
in other
He'll
situations.
think twice. Okay.
And next time they will not express their emotions like then and there.
Okay. And Fahima says he gets offended, he becomes embarrassed, insulted. Sindhu says they won't understand and reason why you are upset. Kids get embarrassed. Okay. A lot of answers in the chat box. So the main point that I felt is that he will get really insulted, and when kids are insulted, they'll get emotionally triggered, and the situation may worsen. And whenever the children are emotionally triggered, whatever logical explanation we give, they won't be able to take it. That is also one thing that I learned practically, just not just from the theories, but experienced practically. So when they are in the peak of emotions, whatever we say, that is not fitting, that won't fit them logically in. While what we need is, next time when a situation like that comes, they need to be able to, choose what to say and what not. They should be able to do it rightly. So we just lightened the situation by saying, my husband said, like, നിന്റെ stomach പോലെ ചെറുതാണോ ബാക്കിയുള്ളവരുടേത്. Those are not Malayalis here. He made it in a fun way, like, other stomach are not small like yours. Okay. And we just skipped the talk and went on with the other. So we kept the correction for later. And at night, we discussed about this in a manner that was convincing to him. And we'll discuss about how such discussions should happen. So correct children in private. Don't hurt their ego while correcting. That is very important to get the result that we want. Always remember, it is not just for our satisfaction that we are correcting them, because majority of the time we have other eyes on us. We'll be judged, we'll be forced to react in a way, in a certain way to our children. But there, the long term effect is quite bad. And children, like anyone else, they are sensitive to criticism, and they may react defensively when we, insult them or embarrass them in front of others. And when we correct a child in the presence of others, they might become very resistant to our guidance also, and they won't be able to understand that logically. So this approach allows the child to save face and avoid being humiliated. And after all, what we want is, we need to put an end to them repeating such behaviors. So it's always good not to take the pressure of other people's expectations and eyes on us. And sometimes when it comes to correcting children, maybe later might be the right time. So I hope that when part is clear. Okay. So next comes how to set moral compass, whether okay, my niece says funny things in groups and hates when we laugh. Okay, we can discuss that towards the end. Okay, so we are getting into the fun part, and sorry, the how part, and it will be one of my kids, Musa, will also be joining us after we finish these slides. Okay, I'm just putting a message. Okay. So the first step is ensure that the child is not emotionally triggered. As we said, when they are emotionally triggered, they won't be able to reason rightly and come up with that logical explanation. While having discussions about right and wrong, it is very important that we have open-ended discussions, open-ended questions, and encourage critical thinking in them, critical thinking and reflection. Okay. So for that, the first step is to ensure that the child is not emotionally triggered. Okay. Now moving on to the second step, that is the prompt questions that we need to put forward to initiate discussions. I'm sorry, just a second. Okay. So first, we ensure that they are in the right mood to receive, and then we are moving ahead with the prompt questions. So then we can ask questions like, what do you think about something that we are going to discuss? Mhm. I would like to know your thoughts on, or do you think this is right? Can you think why something is wrong when it comes to certain matters which, where there is no option to think about the other way around? Like, certain things like we are all here with the same intention, but yet certain things that I feel right, you may be feeling wrong. Certain things you feel right, I may be feeling wrong. There can be a difference of opinion like that. But certain other things, there will be universal false things, like, for example, stealing. We needn't ask them, like, do you think stealing is right? Other than that, a more appropriate question will be, can you think of why stealing is wrong? In certain situations, you need to ask such kind of questions. And also, what do you think about, can we discuss about the positives and negatives of such and such a thing? So these can be the prompt questions that you can use to initiate such a discussion. And always remember, open-ended questions like this will get them into thinking, and that is what we really want. And the third stage is allow them to express uh, completely. Listen actively and don't interrupt their speech when you feel like they are talking uh, in a manner that you don't want to, or their perspectives is different from yours. Don't interrupt them at that time. Please make sure that you listen actively in the sense you are listening with your full attention, and also you're asking doubts from what they are saying. That is active listening. When a person is really listening to you, they'll be asking doubts, they'll be engaging in that conversation. So give space for them to think and come up with their own perspective, respect their opinion, whatever it is, and actively involve in what they are expressing. That is point number 3. Now, from here, there are 2 routes. One thing is the child may think in the same line as us. And the second option is the child may be thinking differently from what we are thinking. Okay. So first we'll take the case where the child is thinking exactly the same as what we are thinking. Okay. In that case, we can respond in these ways. That's a nice thought. You have reasoned it well. I agree with you. That is our first response to their um, viewpoint. And then please don't stop there. We want our children to stick on to it. That is why we need to give more prompts for critical thinking. You can ask for more example or why you feel that way. You can also share, like, I also feel the same because of whatever reason it is. Why do you think there are people who think just the opposite of what we are thinking? Can you think of why they are thinking like that and why that is wrong? So such kind of discussions can happen at this point, and we'll be taking the example also to make it even more clearer. So this is just an outline. Okay. And then conclude it with by summarizing whatever you discussed with the example that you discussed, and maybe with the line that we are happy that we are on the same page in this. Okay, let's try to stick on to this. Even though we are on the same page, there can happen when we go against what we want to, right? So that is why we always say, like, let's try maximum to stick on to it. So you can conclude like that. Any doubts in this? Next, we'll be taking the case where the child expressed an opinion that is different from what we were thinking. Shall we move ahead? So we came till here, that is, we allowed to express, and then what happened? The child has a different opinion than us. Okay, and in the case that we discuss also, we'll be taking such a case. So the child is not on the same page. Okay, at that time, how this step 4, how our response should go is like this. And just a second, I'll be sharing this PDF where you have all the prompt questions and all. Shruti, will you be able to post the form link? In case any of you want these prompt questions as PDF, you can fill the form below. Shruti will be posting that in the chat box.
Okay.
I will quickly give you 2 minutes to fill the form. Shruti, are you there? Okay. So that you can keep that for reference. Now it is 8:10. I can't see that Shruti hasn't posted, right? Okay. Shruti has posted. You can go ahead and fill so that you get all these prompt questions as PDF. And you can keep it and refer later and check wherever it is, whenever it is needed. And also you can add your own prompt questions to the list also. Okay, we'll wait till now it is 8:10. I'll wait for 2 minutes. You can post done in the chat box so that I know that you are done with it. Okay, I can see thumbs up. Okay, Jasmine, Tasneem, Nina, Ajmal, Hasna, Yashika. Okay. Behja, Rihla. I'm sorry, I'm losing track of the chat. But happy to see that there are a lot of people here. Okay, so next, we also have Musa here. But before that, before getting into a discussion with my Musa, we'll see the other case also where the child responded differently to what we thought of, okay, or different from our moral value. So there, when we respond, we actively listened. That is very important step. That was the third step. And fourth, we can respond with these. Okay, I see you feel that way. Let's explore more reasons about that. Or is there an example that you can mention? Why do you think that way? So, do you mean that this is right? This particular thing? See, sometimes when children are triggered, they may say that, okay, it is okay to do all those things. But a second question from our side stating that, so you mean to say that this particular thing is right, that can get them into thinking. And also, after responding, after our initial response, get them into critical thinking with the prompt questions. There we can ask, some people believe, some people, including me, I believe just the opposite. Can you think of any reason why we think like that? This will help them think about the other perspective. Even if I feel this is right, why is a person feeling that this is wrong? They'll be able to reason that. Okay, I feel just the opposite. And what do you think about that? That can be another way. What happens when all the people in the world think like this? Okay, what happens when your friend also thinks like this? These questions, these sort of questions can get them into thinking and can help them choose the right thing. And it'll be more clear when we take the case, I guess. And also, when you conclude, in certain cases, we'll have to keep the discussion open for a few days. Let them think and come back the next time. At that time, their thoughts will be more organized. So, in some cases, we'll have to continue the discussion for a few days. And in other cases, conclude it with the example that you have taken and all. Okay. And also, where the child is feeling hard to adjust to it, you can mention like it is hard to stick on to it, but let's try. And I loved how you reasoned it. Okay, so this is a whole framework how we can approach. And let's take a case. Musa, are you there?
Yes,
Okay,
hi
but I can't
everyone.
see you. Can everyone see Musa?
Yes.
Yeah, we can see him.
We can.
Okay, so is his camera on? Am I the only one who can't see him? Yes, okay, fine. Everyone says that they can see. Okay, so Musa is 10 years old and he's with me today to enact a real situation that happened with one of my children some time back. Okay, so the point of view is um, a child. Musa, you are getting so many highs in the chat box. Okay,
Uh,
so the point of view is a child pushed him and he hit him back. Okay, see, here also, what I would like you to keep in mind is just be alert on how the discussion is going. Okay, and as I said before, those things that I feel right may not be right for you, or you may have a difference of opinion how the child should react in such situations. But see how the discussion is going so that we can, um, copy this in other situations. Okay, so the situation is someone pushed Musa and he hit him back. Okay, shall we start, Musa?
yes.
Okay. Okay, so the first thing that I ensure is okay that situation has passed, and it is a later time that I take in the discussion, and I see that Musa is calm, and then I ask him, Musu, we may not be able to behave nicely when someone else is treating us badly, but do you think hitting back is right?
Hitting back may not be right, but I guess when someone hits me, it's right to hit them back.
Okay, definitely we have to defend ourselves where it is needed. So you mean to say that we can behave how others are behaving to us?
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay. Okay, but what came to my mind is something different, Musa. What came to my mind is that we have to exhibit our values when they exhibit theirs. What do you think about that?
I guess you're right, but it's hard.
That's true, it's hard. Musa, what if a majority of the people think that we can behave worse when others don't behave well? Will it solve the issues?
Mm, Uh, I guess it'll just create more chaos. So I guess we should be ourselves.
Okay, that was a nice reasoning. And thank you, Musa, for joining. So, this is a
Yeah, well,
real okay. So there's a real incident that happened with one of my children, and thank you, Musa, for enacting that out today. Okay, so there were a lot of things that um, the steps included a few of the things that we discussed, like I was asking his opinion. Okay, and Musa, you can leave if needed.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Thank you. Doesn't training our children to be more, defend patiently, let them face more bullying forever. See, Noor Nihara, this is what I said. Like we may not be on the same page regarding the content, regarding how what I was guiding him on, but we can take the process. That is what I said. It is completely okay in different to that. How I think can be different from what you think. Okay,
Hi.
but the
Actually,
process is
I
what
was
we
just
need.
asking,
So
like
yes, go ahead.
how to make them, like how to make them be safe by being patient.
Yes. That is a balance that we need to keep. Like they need to defend themselves. So we also have frequent discussions like that, where and when they need to defend. When it is, the people that I exclude from that list is their siblings. Last day, my husband was training my youngest one on uh, punching the other person's nose. When someone comes to attack. But then I was adding like that is not something to do when there is, slight uh, friction between your siblings or between your close friends. So that is a balance that we need to keep. Okay, I guess we can go on to the process now, and we can keep a particular cases for the end. Okay. So here I was letting him reason it and come to that conclusion rather than saying that don't hit back. Okay. And also you can see a few prompt questions from this that I asked him, so do you mean that this is right? But then that didn't work. He said, yes, that is right. Then I moved on to the next step. That is the fifth step, where I use this. What happens when everyone believe this way and start enacting that? So that was a question that got my child to thinking at that point. Okay. So what we need to figure out is we need to keep trying this question, that question, just mix and match from different steps and see at which point it is logically striking your child. Okay, now let's take a small example, which is about dealing with a specific issue like your child. Let this not happen. This is just an example. A child. Let's take one child who stole something from a shop. Okay, so without accusing the child, but then you have to bring in logical explanation at that time. Why is this wrong? And why is this wrong? Because we are taking something that is not us, and that is one reason, right? And if we do that, who is going to pay for the product that we took? And majority of the time small children may not know that there is a money involved in this, because they feel like, okay, this is a shop, things are there and
Hey.
I'm just taking, and no, sorry, whose mic is on? Okay, they may not know about the money that is involved, and then you'll have him to think about the loss that the shopkeeper is facing because of this, and slowly bring the discussion to a compensation that the child can do. When the child makes a mistake like this, or a severe mistake where you feel like the child need to do a compensation, then please go ahead with that step. That is a very important step. Maybe from the child's pocket money, the child can pay for the item that the child took, or return the item to the shopkeeper, or whatever it is. So in certain cases, one more step will be involved, and that is the compensation. So this format has helped me a lot. Please replicate that if you feel that will be helpful. Now let's discuss some leaking bucket. Okay, that is due to certain mistakes from our side, such conversation may not be the conversation that you saw now. It may not be possible with your child, or even if you start the discussion, it may not go well, or the child, it won't have an impact on the child. That is because of a few mistakes that happen from our end. Can you name such any of the mistake that comes to your mind?
Control.
We have to control ourselves.
No, sometimes we try to control situations unnecessarily, like, like helicopter parenting kind of situations. and
Over control.
and then yeah.
Justification. Okay.
Okay, Sindhu says our tone. Okay, I guess Nasima ma'am was leaving. Connecting
When
with the
we
child,
compare
wrong
with
time and
other child, when we compare with
sorry.
other child, and when we compare with other sibling, and then
Yeah,
say something.
that's very true. Comparisons are leaking buckets. We'll discuss a few leaking buckets today, few mistakes that come from our end. And one is that there should be a match. The mistake is that there is no match between what we demand and how we act. We are not walking what we talk. So there should be a match between what we demand and what we do. But we ourselves are not perfect. Like, mistakes can happen from us. So when, for example, when I say we are not performing like we are demanding, like, yeah, we demand, um, children to not lie and always be honest. But for example, when we buy things from a shop and we get our balance that the shopkeeper paid us is more than what we need to get, are we returning it back or are we keeping it for ourselves? Another thing is you take an online event ticket and one instead of one person, multiple people, you're passing it to multiple people, or you are asking or lying over the phone, maybe to your relative or to your friends. So these are all, it can be slight tricks and tactics that we do, but that will bring us no good on a long term. And children are great observers. So make our life an example for them to look at. Also, through us, they learn the skill of compensating for mistakes. Also, we also commit mistake. We are not no angels. We commit mistakes, and let them see us apologizing and making up for it. So being their role model is very important. And I would like you all to think about situation where you could model the right to your child. Okay, this is what I have to do at this point, and that is what I will do. Such situations. The second thing is there is no opportunity that the child is getting to practice. Like we always preach what is right, but we are not giving them, they're not getting an opportunity to practice it. Make situations where your child can practice the quality that we are teaching them. For example, once we ordered from Swiggy and the delivery guy delivered other things to us. And that was a huge order, but we actually placed a very slight order. So at that time, I asked one of my children, my eldest one exactly, to call up the restaurant and coordinate with Swiggy to return that. So these are the situations where we can train them. They are getting opportunities to practice what we want them to do. And next is lack of influence over your child. That is very important point. If the child has to look up to us, value us, consider opinion, think what will my dad or mom think about this situation, is this right or wrong according to them, what will be their opinion. So if this thought process has to happen inside them, then you need to have a good influence over the child. Maybe because we deal with certain issues in a wrong way, kids may get a sense that we are always policing them. They feel that we don't understand them, and slowly the influence that you have over the child starts decreasing, and then these methods, it may not be effective. Another thing is unable to show compassion. You are unable to show compassion to the child. You're too quick to correct. Someone was mentioning that, right? And the ways that you adopt are always harsh. You're always demanding from the child. You're not giving a space for mistakes. Overall, compassion is not there in your talk, in your tone, in your actions. Then your child will slowly start moving away from what you are preaching or what you are demanding. Another thing is you are very busy and you address only specific issues when it happens. The issue that I addressed with Musa, that was a specific issue, right? But in their molding, what is needed is a continuous discussions about many different topics that we see on a day-to-day basis. It is not when they make a mistake that we need to discuss. So these are the leaking buckets. And yes, there I was about to tell something in the last point. Yes. So bring in more and more discussions about right and wrong, not necessarily when they make a mistake. So please note these points. And if you are struggling with issues 3, 4, and 5, Kring is guiding parents to overcome these, these problems. And mostly, we are always nice to people around us, right? And when it comes to our children, people sometimes say that, okay, she's or he's showing his true color on the children. But what I feel is we are not able to show our true color on them, and we lose it a majority of the times. Maybe because they are more close to us. But it is a serious issue that we need to consider, that has to be addressed, because they become just because they become became our kids, it doesn't mean that they don't deserve a happy life, right? So we need to be careful about that. And we at Kring, we understand this struggle, and Kring helps you to be your best self to your children, to establish influence over your children by, I'm sorry, okay, by setting, first is by building your influence over your child, by setting the right expectation and bringing your child's behaviors up to that expectation without uh, resorting to harsh punishments or consequences. Also, we train you with positive disciplining strategies. We help you put that into practice, to control your anger, to manage your time, to manage siblings fights. So this is what we can together achieve in the midst of our busy schedule. And all this is possible with the help of Kring's parent mentor if you have 20 to 30 minutes per week dedicated for your parenting. And if family is your priority, I guess 30 minutes a week is not a big deal. So with that short commitment from your end, we'll be able to transform your parenting journey. We have been doing that with parents who are a part of Kring's parent space. And those who would like to get Kring's support in your parenting journey, you can fill the form below. And also there is an option, like those who haven't filled before, you can fill the same form. There is an option where you need to whether you want the PDF for today's PDF of today's discussion, you can opt for that. And also if you want to talk to our parent advisor, you can just tick that also, in case you want to know more about Kring services or want to take the help of the parent advisor. Okay, you can mark your option rightly. So this is what Kring is all about. To those who don't know about Kring, we are here to help you in your parenting journey. And be a part of our WhatsApp group. We'll be posting all the activities that we are conducting, including webinars like this. So be a active member of our WhatsApp group and follow us in all these social media. And if you have any question, you can post now.
Yeah, hi, my name is
And thank you
Husna.
all for joining today. Okay, go ahead. Husna,
Hello.
are you there?
Yeah, actually, I got a
Yes, go
question.
ahead. Husna, okay. Yeah. Yeah, Husna, can you go ahead?
Hello.
Yes, Husna, I can hear you.
Yeah. There was a scenario in that.
Hello? The audio is not clear to me. I'm sorry.
Yeah, there was a scenario, right? That if they committed a mistake, you need to correct them privately.
Okay, I heard that you're talking about the scenario where they committed a mistake. Husna?
Hello, can you hear me?
Husna, will you be able to post in the
Since
chat
she's not
box? I
hearing,
guess.
Mariam, could you do the one that I was asking about the laughing bits?
Sorry?
Um,
Can you please repost the
you know the
question?
scenario where
Yeah, when he cracks a joke, when he cracks a
they're not
jokes, but when
cracking
others
jokes, they're
laugh, he's
saying things when they're saying things, observations that are too funny, and we naturally just laugh. and they get very offended about it.
Okay, can you give me an example?
Um, and there was this very, very fun instance where one of my nieces said, Amazon is an app and not a river. And obviously, we're going to laugh about it. And she pointed out that we're talking about her, and this is riba.
Amazon?
And this is another big problem, because obviously, we're trying to put the factors of like riba out there too. And she said, "You're talking behind my back, and that's the riba, and it's not that funny." And they get very offended at things like, they make observations like this, which is very funny, but we
What
just
was your
laugh. And,
observation? I just missed that part.
that Amazon is not a river; it's an app.
Okay.
Yeah, and
Okay, so
obviously
and
we're just gonna laugh, and then they're getting it,
okay, see, basically, if they are getting offended, then we need to stop laughing. And
But
parallelly,
it's
you can
just
bring in.
knee-jerk response to what they're saying. It's just
Yeah,
pure
I get it.
funny, and
Yeah,
they're getting very offended.
yeah.
It's just one of the
Uh,
occasions. There are multiple situations where they get very upset with us, and yeah.
Okay. So what I feel is you can work from both the ends. Like, when you know that such situations are waiting there and it can prompt me to laugh, you can also train yourself to not give that reaction out of that impulse. And also parallelly, you can discuss with the child and bring in conversations around the comments that the child is making, or, and why it is appearing funny, and how he or she can put his opinions forward if they don't want others to laugh at. Such discussions can be open always. And also, I guess, like, if the child is getting hurt, then we need to address it from our end also. Can you repeat the
Right.
last part? Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, what is your name? FZ?
Fazia.
Fazia. Okay, nice to talk to you, Fazia. Basma says, okay, valuable session. A quick question. How do we bring out the passion in our kids? Basma, I would like to know what passion. Zarina, thank you very much. May God bless you always. Thank you, Zarina. Okay, Fahima and Shafna. How to deal with kids' lack of interest in studies, mainly because of social media and gadgets. Okay, just Yashika, can you go ahead and answer Shafna's question, Shafna Hassan's question?
Yes, yes. Yes, actually, after
Okay.
looking at that question, this came to my mind. Like, I read a post where it says that whatever we do, kids are also watching us just the way we watch them. We expect them, like, we expect a lot from kids, like, they want it to be perfect. But for their small mind and small growing brain, we expect a lot from them. So in that case, children also have a little bit of expectation. Indirectly, they are watching us like they're heroes, like, or they imitating us in many ways. So in that way, taking a gap from social media and not talking so much about social media in front of children, and maybe like inculcating reading books, and helping them, involving them in while we are cooking, or while we are doing some gardening activities, and all that can help really get them that there is a world outside the social media too. So but mostly what I do is, like, whenever I use the mobile or something like that, I do it at least away from their presence, so they do not see only the media and the mobile and things like that. So I have been practicing that. Sometimes it is very difficult because all of the time we are always on the phone or something like that. But hopefully, in so many activities, I try to involve them. Like cooking, also, I ask them to be near me and see what I'm doing. little things like helping them with some clay models, or helping them with some art activities and all like that. And also one more thing is like nowadays we get triggered by children's little activities, like while for example my children are very interested in doing art activities, so painting and all that. So in some cases when some parents, they don't like things to be messy, so they don't like children to do messy things, and but still they can color. But that's not the point. When we are doing some coloring activity, there will be some mess. So when we try to enjoy what they're doing, they will keep on improving their skill in that. So they won't, for example, when we are going to stop them from doing that, they will start painting in the mobile phone, and that will become a habit. So I think this can help.
That's very true. Thank you, Yashika, for that
Yeah.
explanation. And as Yashika said, uh, two things that she mentioned. One is our life should be such that they can copy and let them see us involving in all the activities that we want them to, involve in. And also, second thing is we need them to have good hobbies outside the screens, get them engaged in things outside the screens. So basically, when we think about screens, there are three areas that you need to get into. One is make sure that your child gets apt amount of freedom and autonomy in areas outside screens. That is, when they get the screen, there is a lot of freedom. They can skip from one video to another. They can choose what to watch and what not. So there's a lot of freedom that the child is getting online, and that is one addictive factor that clings even adults into systems. So one factor is that we need to make sure that in all areas where we can let them have freedom, let them enjoy that. It is not just from the screens that they need to enjoy freedom. And the second thing is connection with human beings and real stuff rather than just, having the connection with the screens. And the third thing is competence. That is where they need to excel in areas. They need to find out areas where they excel in. For example, uh, when they are very small, you can expose them to a whole lot of things and see which is the area that is really, getting them engaged in. One of my children, it is story writing. For one of them, it is drawing. Another one, it is coding. Another one, it is animation and design. So there will be areas which really get them engaged in and fling them onto that. That will, slowly take them out of the unwanted stuff and engage them in the positive stuff. Okay. Okay, thank you, Namila. Can you please repeat the last part about spending time with kids? Sharon is asking, where did I mention about spending time? Um, Maybe is it this busy? We are too busy that we address only their issues and mistakes. Is it that part, Shireen? There, what I meant is we address when they make a mistake, but we need to make sure that even in our busy schedule, we need to find time to have conversations around right and wrong on a regular basis, not just when they make a mistake. Okay, I guess uh, it
Hello,
is
am I
up.
audible now?
Any more doubts? Yes, is this Husna?
Yes, yes. I got a network problem.
Yeah.
Hello? Yeah.
Yes,
Actually, my
Husna.
question is, we were discussing like we need to correct them privately, like if they do something wrong. So if we have one or two kids, like can we do it in front of other kids, thinking that that will benefit the other one also? Can we can we have a discussion like that together with the one or two kids, or just we need to do it privately?
Okay, so it depends on the situation. When you feel like one child is hurt because of the other, see, this is a training that we give in Kring to each parent personally, depending on their situation. Okay, so what you need to keep in mind is when Shahid Rafi, can you please mute yourself?
Madam,
Okay, so when there is an issue between two kids and you feel that one has hurt the other and the other is really offended, then you need to bring in a discussion in front of both of them. You need to guide them to solve the issue. There, without being a police who is telling, okay, this one did right, this one did wrong, this is wrong, this is right. There also there is a method to bring in this discussion among the children and get it solved. Okay, and maybe the further corrections that you need to make, you can do it in private.
All right. Yeah, thanks.
Hyperactive kid who try to harm others. Nishana, this is a very serious case. Please get in touch with Shruti. Shruti, can you please post your number in the chat box? Please do the assessment of hyperactivity for assessment for hyperactivity. And if the issue is there, you need to attend to it. We do provide support. Shruti, please post your number in the chat box. Nishana can contact. Okay. Any passion, I believe every human has some interest. Okay, Basma, I guess I have answered it already. Like when your child is small, just get them exposed to a whole lot of stuff, and slowly you'll be seeing where their interest is growing. For me personally, what I felt is around the age of 6 7, you'll get slight clues of what they are getting into, which area is fascinating to them, and by the age of 10 you will have a complete picture, I guess. Hamida, mindful parenting is a continuous process where we need to shift our traditional approach and be more mindful dealing with our kids, the junior version of who we are. Thank you for the information. Okay, thank you. Very nice topic, great points. Okay, that's name. Thank you. Hyperactivity again. Anina has asked how to control hyperactivity. Not interested in playing a specific issue. See, this is a time when lack of attention and hyperactivity is at its peak. There is a whole lot of articles that are being published in that, like the present generation of children, they are losing focus and attention. One is mainly because of the influence of social media. And please, Anina, please get it checked. If your child has such an issue, take the assessment and see whether it's the right analysis, and if that issue is there, we'll be able to help you further. Is there any plan to conducting sessions in Malayalam? Okay, that was posted in Q&A. We can consider that. Please let us know what topic you are looking for. Okay, thank you, Ajmal. Namaste, I'm leaving. Okay, thank you for joining. How did you keep on building enthusiasm in them? Okay, I didn't get what it was about. Okay, seems like there are a lot of questions. Okay, Rasina, how to enforce behavior when there is a time limit involved? I'm against physical punishment, but sometimes I need things done the right way. For example, this morning my daughter kept whining over getting up in the morning, saying she didn't want to go to school. I tried to listen. Okay, the Malayalam session, like these sessions, it is mentioned. Okay, let's discuss about that. If you are looking forward, then we can definitely have it in Malayalam as well. Okay, I need her to get up right away and she would be late. So see, this issue is persisting, Rasina, because you are dealing it at that particular moment. What we do with Kring parents who have joined our platform in the personal mentorship plan is we address all these areas, not just at that point, but on a regular basis. We do several activities with the children. We recommend several activities that the parent can do with the children to avoid such happenings. Okay, there'll be more cooperation from the child. So if you are interested, you can message Shruti and book your slot. Basically what you need to do there is instead of addressing that particular moment problems, you should have things, discussions, and also various activities happening with the child on a regular basis, so that such situations are not happening. Basically when we are busy and when such things pop up, it really get us into that angry mode. So what to do when they adapt bad behavior from other kids? Shweta, there also you can apply the same method. Okay, and the effectiveness of that will highly depend on your bonding and your influence over that you have with your child. So work on that as well to increase the effect. Shireen also hyperactivity. Please contact Shruti. Thank you, Fatima Hasina. Will the recording of the session be posted? You can contact Shruti for the same. I guess she'll be providing you with the recording. Okay. Yes, the recording is on, so you'll be getting hopefully. So that is the end of the question. So shall we wind up? Thank you, wonderful dads and moms, for taking your time and being here and engaging in this webinar. See you all in the next. Okay. Thank you. Have a good night.